What up? What up? What up? We are back. Hey, tonight, I really think that we brought y'all something tonight. I really think we brought y'all something tonight, man. First off, man, I'm welcome everybody to the EFA BU talk show hosted by your boy, Lil Terry. I am live at my mama's crib in Columbia, Missouri. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Mom Dukes for allowing me to do my show. Um, when I tell you we got some special guests that's in the building, man. Queens, Queens that's in the building. I'm not gonna hold it long. This is really about the controversy of women back in the day, women now, of how they think. You know what I'm saying? So we need answers. Do the ladies have answers? And I'm not gonna hold you long. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna bring to the stage our queens, Deborah, Sue. She's in the building. I believe her name is Tiffany? Tiffany?
Tiffany.
Tiffany. Hey, that's a unique way of spelling Tiffany. Okay, Miss Tiffany. So we got Tiffany in the building and Deborah Sue in the building. Now listen, I got some questions myself. Okay, I do got some questions myself, and but first I want y'all to introduce yourselves. Either one of y'all can go first. But I first want to say I appreciate y'all for giving our platform, an opportunity to bless. You know what I'm saying? Have blessings of y'all presence. So y'all go ahead.
Well, hello, and thank you for having me. I'm happy to be on the
Again,
show. Can you hear me?
again. Yes, ma'am. I hear you.
Again, right. Right, I'm
Again.
happy to be here again. Exactly. I am Deborah Sue Glass City Talent. I'm the host of Toledo to the World. I am located in Toledo, Ohio. I wear many hats. Let's just say it that way.
Okay,
But
okay.
I'm very happy to be here and happy to sit in on this very interesting conversation.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I can't wait to get started. How you doing, Miss Tiffany?
I'm doing good. I hope y'all are doing good this evening. I'm Tiffany, and I am a singer, songwriter, musician, podcaster, all of those things,
Okay.
amongst the titles. Um, that's just short of who I am.
Hey, that's a long yard. Obviously, you know what I'm saying. People don't know what's happening in the back. You know what I'm saying, the back scene of things. You know what I'm saying. So that's a great thing. You know what I'm saying. So I appreciate y'all for that. Let me start off with a banger. Right. Let me start off with a banger. And this can attack or question their traditional way of thinking and looking at certain things, but also nowadays, right? So we have a woman president, a woman president, right? Traditionally, I was taught that men was the head of the household, and they're supposed to be like true leaders, and women supposed to be submissive and different things of that nature, right? Now, not everybody thinks the same. Nowadays, women have careers and they can think for themselves, they can do for themselves, different things of that nature. What will it mean for her to take main stage as a president to be over a whole country when it come down to men? You feel what I'm saying? Like I just want to hear y'all point of view when it come down to just that realm of things. Like she's a woman, but she's about to be the head leader of a country dealing with men. So coming from a woman, you feel what I'm saying? What is how can y'all elaborate on that? I just want to just start off that way. Like I just want to hear what y'all got to say.
Well, you know what? I guess I'll hop right in on that. Okay, to me, it's strictly my opinion because this is an opinion, self opinion show. Um,
Hmm.
Traditionally, let's just address what you say. Tradition is the man would go out and bring home the bacon, and the woman is the one who actually ruled the house, not the man.
Yes.
He set
Yep.
stipulations and rules. He was, but he basically, cared for a woman. That's why when a man find a wife, he find a good thing because she multiplies for him. He hands it to her and she takes it over,
Mhm.
and she multiplies. And so I like to just kind of parallel that with what we have going on with the with Miss Harris, because I don't want to mispronounce her first name.
Yeah, I did a couple
Doing
times.
basically the same thing. She's stepping into a house. Now don't get it twisted, because we all know the president really does not call the shots. The Senate does, okay? So
Okay.
and that's a category full of, men and women. And so she's in a position, yes, of leadership. And most women, to be quite honest with you, are seen as
Oh man.
Uh-oh. Oh, she was finna get spicy. I felt it.
Yeah.
Deborah. Where you at, Miss Deborah? You gotta come back, baby. What's your take? What's your take? What's your take?
And look, honestly, and this is probably a bad thing, but I don't keep up with politics. But just going off of what you said about uh, uh, woman being in charge and things like that, I mean, in my opinion, as she stated, the man is the head of the wife of his household.
Okay,
But
okay.
it does not say that a woman can't be over things. And
Well,
just what
go
was
ahead,
you
go ahead, go
saying?
ahead. No, go ahead. I'm listening. I'm finna
Okay,
dive in.
okay. I mean, when it comes down to what you said, I mean, that's what it comes down to is a man is over his wife. You know what I mean? Um, but if we took the I'm not gonna say gender out of things, we should be looking at, is this individual going to lead us in the right direction? Is this individual going to take us forward and not backwards? Is this individual going to make the right decisions for us in order for us to be in a better position than we were years ago, or just a few years ago? So when it comes down to that, that would be my viewpoint on that. Is, what is this individual, take the gender off of there, what is this individual gonna do for us? Because I mean, honestly, we've had men in office all these years, and what have they done? If we
So
really
now,
want to get
okay.
real with it.
So now we getting somewhere, right? Okay, Miss Deborah is right back. She was. Hey, you
It's
just
about to be
missed a
done.
mouthful. I wish that you would have you would have carried on, and then she started. Because what she just said was, I just timing.
yeah.
Um, just say your last part. Say your last part that you just said, Tiffany.
What about it? We need to be worried about who the individual is. What is that individual going to do for us? Take the gender out. What are they going to do? We've had men
Mhm.
in leadership all these years. What have they
Mhm.
done?
Right.
Okay, I got
Yeah.
to piggyback that way. What you want to say, Miss Deborah?
Well, you know what? And I'm sorry I got cut off. I have my notifications turned off, so I don't know how that happened. But anyhow, and my thought is pretty much the same as yours. Is, we can't necessarily, unfortunately, you men look at it this way, but we can't necessarily make this a gender issue, because it's not a gender issue. We have to look at the qualifications of an individual and say who's best to fit the position, who can make the best decisions. And as we know, our current leader is not in a position to make the best decisions, and he himself recognized that, and so he passed the torch to someone who could make better decisions. And so, while the gentleman may be looking at this as men should lead and women should be submissive, that's not what this is about at all. I agree. We have to pick
Okay,
the better person.
okay. So it's 2024, right? It's
Mhm.
2024, and we now see you speak about no gender, but it's been a gender topic for years traditionally. Women can't do this. Women can't do that. Women is not allowed to do this. Women are not allowed to do that. And they are here to depend and be submissive to the man, no matter what it is. But nowadays, you have women being the, I don't know what you call it. It's not a man. The man of the household is, she owns her home. She owns her own car. She has her own job or her own career, without the man being on top. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't know how we're going to be able to explain that category, but when it comes down to men, and I'm a man, I'm saying this. I'm a man, but I'm on both sides, and it just don't make sense. I'm 35 years old, so I got questions myself. When it comes down to men, we supposed to be on this throne for so long, and yet we have so much problems, right? And it's hard to put men in the room to come up with some type of ideas to make sure that our women are straight. How can the nation continuously follow the leadership of men when it comes down to independency with women?
Well, I think it's a matter of just relearning the process, to be honest with you. Okay. I think that tradition tends to get in the way of individuals thinking. Okay. However, an individual decides to run their home, that's a totally different process when it comes to something on the nature of politics, if you will, because both the Senate, the House, I mean, it's made up of women. Women are in there. Women are senators. Women are politicians. And so I think that America as a whole is getting over the idea that it should just be men there, because obviously women have come up with some pretty good solutions to some problems. But when it comes to being the head person in charge, that's when we really have to, well, you guys as men have to say,
Mhm.
we've done this all these years our way. We've
I
done
just,
this the
I'm
man
trying
way
to tell
all
you.
these years. Okay. And so now, why would it not be an opportune time to say maybe we should make a change here? Because quite frankly, we need a change, and maybe this might be the change that needs to happen.
I can piggyback on that. Jonathan Coleman, shout out to the producer of the show, the PR of the show. Jonathan Coleman, my manager. Amazing guy, amazing guy. He said, "What do you mean now? Women have been holding it down." Okay. Now I want to piggyback on that, but let's stay in that area, right? So we got I'm so bad at names. I don't understand. If I say your name wrong, I truly apologize. And when I read a comment, y'all can just elaborate on it as well.
Hmm.
Shaquina Diaz. If I'm saying your name wrong, my bad. I am the worst at pronouncing names. But she said a woman can only submit if she has a man that's leading. A woman can only submit if she has a man that's leading. Now, I want to do controversy. Can a woman lead a man?
Well, you have to put it into context. I think if you're talking about a household, that we have two different scenarios that we're talking about here. Because when we talk about submission and leadership, that's between two individuals under a household, okay? Because when you go into a business, a woman may very well run that business and she's your boss. If you go to Jeep, you have women supervisors. You have in certain businesses in New York, the women own the businesses, and so yes, they are leaders in that respect. And you probably, if you want to keep your job, you're going to submit to that leadership, obviously, okay, because she's the owner, she's in that position, okay. But in a household, Ms. Diaz is absolutely right. If there is a gentleman or a man or a husband in the household that is proving himself to be a leader who makes good decisions on behalf of his family, who provides physically, financially, spiritually for the family, he looks out for everything for the benefit of the family, then that's the person that a woman who's in a relationship can absolutely submit to. So, I think it's in the context of how you're applying leadership or submission or headship, because it's a household situation, and then there's, the real situation out in the world where, you entail the job or you entail the political system or so forth.
Yeah, I
What's your
agree.
take, Tiffany?
Yeah. No, I was just
What's your
saying I
take?
agree with what she said. Yeah, it
Oh yeah,
depends
yeah, yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
perspective that you're coming from. So
Well, I mean, when it comes down to a household, say for instance, like a woman, you know what I'm saying, she have her own house. The man have his own house and the woman have her own house. Um in today's day, what's the correct way of moving? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm asking this because like we're it's in different times. So it's not like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
no, you pack your stuff up, you move in with me, you do as I say, you stay in the house, I work, I pay the bills, you have no career. It's not that no more. Women is stepping up and be like, no, I got my own thing going on. We could do this together. They even speaking about 50-50s now. Back then it was 100 and zero. You don't have nothing. You feel what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
how do y'all feel about that? Like what, how do you approach that? And I'm always, and hopefully we got, young queens, you feel what I'm saying, on the chat as well, because it's 2024 and it's different.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
guess it would just depend on the situation or relationship. Like you're saying, if the man is either to move with the woman or the woman is to move with the man, it would just come down to communication. But then once they're a unit, then yes, if the man is the one that's doing the action and taking care of the things, then he's still the head of his household. We're looking at household like a house, and it's like, no, the household is the people, you know. So he's head of the household. So he's head of her and whatever else they got going on. But that's how I'm thinking about it. You know, household wise is more of the image of it, not the actual house.
And I like that you said that, because nowadays, and I am a man, but these men be tripping. They be trying to dictate everything. And
Yeah.
I'm a man. I'm saying this like this is crazy. I'm on both sides, but I'm also, saying, a mama's boy. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when it comes down to women, I actually look at certain things different.
Yeah.
Um, so I just don't understand that perspective, but it did come from the traditional way of thinking. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe
Yeah.
I'm looking at it too deeply. I don't know. But when I
Mm-hmm.
am around certain systems, you feel what I'm saying, they are attacking that mindset. You feel what I'm saying? As you
Mhm.
say, do what I say, or belittling them, or trying to keep them from, what I'm saying, being higher than them. You know what I'm saying? So it's just crazy.
Yeah, to be quite honest with you, having that type of mindset is the very first flaw in a relationship, and that is exactly what will break a marriage or a relationship up, is having that type of the type of dominance that you just described. My
Hmm.
parents have been married over 70 years, and one of the things my dad has taught his four boys and three girls, four boys, was when it comes to the women, give them their way. If it's not really going to affect, have a serious effect on anything, why cause the argument that you really don't want? You understand what I'm saying? And so I think that if men were, it used to be saying you have to pick your arguments wisely, pick your fights wisely. Okay, when you start talking about trying to have dominion over a woman, that is a mistake, because from the very beginning, we're not made to dominate over other human beings. Now, when the domination,
Hold on, say that one more
okay,
time.
domination is different than headship. Okay,
Mhm.
a person who is considered to be a head is a leader. That person is a leader. He leads the family. He protects the family. And a person who is a dominant, that says you can't do this and you can't do that, that's a person that's dominating, and that will ruin a relationship immediately. So, to be honest with
Quickly.
you, quit very, very
Got
quickly, so I think that now, when you were talking about, if both individuals have a house, the quickest way to remedy who's going to be what and who's going to move where is for both of them to sell their homes and buy a house jointly. To be honest with you, if you're financially able to do that, you go together and you pick a house out together. Now, if he's got the bigger house or the mansion or what have you, it's not going to matter, because whatever state you live in, if you get married, is going to be hers too. So it's really just a matter of a conversation between the two that need to be had. That's basically all it is, because when you get married, it's not my house or your house, it's our house, period.
well, you say that louder for the top men, you know what I'm saying, that actually live by that rule, as if this is my house, you do as I say. And I know y'all know what I'm talking about. That still rims to this day. It is crazy. So I'm gonna throw a curveball. And this is about proposals, right?
Mhm.
And I didn't really realize until I actually like visualized it and seen it. So a man proposed to a woman, right? But he kneels and look up. Ain't that's kind of like a dominant type situation to where like we're more submissive than the woman submitting to us? We asking for permission. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I might be looking at it like think about it differently, but we the one down there. Y'all looking down to us. You feel y'all? You know what I'm saying? So is that like? So what is y'all take on that though? Like I know people don't think that way, but that's just
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that. I thought you was about to go a whole nother way with that. I thought you was about to
I'm
say
not.
about these women proposing to these men.
That's what I thought too.
That's
Yeah.
Well, should it be that way? I mean, should it be that way? I mean,
well, I mean,
No, you know, because
y'all looking down on
go
us though,
ahead.
and then we gotta ask for your permission. Y'all gonna say some no, then break your heart. You feel what I'm saying? We hope
oh,
y'all say yes. So like, I mean, like, what is it? We submit to y'all. We ain't say no. You're gonna marry me
Well,
today. That's it.
that's different.
no, you know what? Again, you're falling back on what tradition does. Traditionally, that is how the proposal situation goes, where a man will ask a woman. He could be standing or kneeling, but most of you guys have been taught by your dads to get on one knee and ask a woman for her hand in marriage. You know, and it's not that it's improper. It's just what you choose to do. Because some men don't kneel. Some will you'll sit at dinner and they'll push a ring across the table, or they'll put it in your food or drink or what have you. It just depends on how you make the proposal, because you're not going to force a woman to marry you. You have to ask her, and then if she says yes, that's one thing, and if she says no, well, then there you go, you keep it moving. but
That's
Mhm.
um but
that's bogus. For I mean, we just accept it. You feel what I'm saying and move on. But that ain't right. We gotta
but
we
it's
gotta we gotta nail down embarrassment situations to get y'all yeses.
That's
Y'all
why
ain't
it
gotta get
might be
all
a good
yeses
idea
though.
to do it in private. I've seen stuff on these stations where the guys have gone out in public and candles and balloons in the air, and all these strangers are standing around in the basketball games, and the girl won't answer. I mean, you probably really should not try to surprise somebody in a setting like that, especially if you haven't been dating very long. If you have been dating your mate for a long time and you guys both understand and know that marriage is probably in the cards for you guys, that's one thing. But when you're dating somebody for less than 6 months, year, or what have you, and the relationship is still a little bit shaky, and you really don't know if she's gonna say yes or no, you probably shouldn't waste your money and do a big elaborate a big
Man,
elaborate thing,
you
because the
ain't
chances
you
are
ain't
you're taking
helping.
your own, yeah, you're taking a chance on doing that.
You ain't helping right now. We still gotta get closed doors in the bathroom, closet, on top of the hill, under the hill. We still gotta get y'all yeses. We still gotta get y'all already got our yeses. So we kneel, y'all know we ready. But we gotta ask y'all to see if y'all ready though. Then we doing all the flowers. Then we gotta cater to y'all needs and y'all wants. If y'all mad, we gotta cater to that. We gotta get some chocolate and Valentine's Day. But it seems like y'all rule the world.
Mm.
Y'all
Well, it
rule the world.
depends on the woman and the man, though, because every woman ain't the same.
Break that down.
Like my husband knows, I don't like roses. I don't like chocolates. It's not too much. Like he's more the romancer, but I'm not the type of woman that wants materialistic things all the time. Like, show me you care, show me you love me. You see I'm tired, give me a back rub, stuff like that. So it depends on the woman and the man when it comes to all that you just said.
Yeah.
So that just replacing the gifts. You feel what I'm saying? You still need some massages. You feel what I'm saying? You still need some attention care. Like we're
Hmm.
still being submissive to the woman.
Yeah, you got to
Yeah,
get those
but then
things
we're
too, though.
also doing the same thing for you.
Exactly,
Also,
there you
that's why I said
go.
it depends on the woman and the man. Now, if you're
It
Hmm.
doing
ain't,
all of that and she ain't doing nothing, you might need to rethink that.
There you go.
but
That's
in
it.
society, it's meant for y'all to receive those things. You feel what I'm saying? It's not really meant for men to receive it back. Like
But why though?
I don't know. I said society. I don't know. Society says that.
But
I
you're
don't know.
saying like traditionally y'all not, but realistically, I mean, back in the day,
Realistically,
people they got married and they stayed married for years and years and years and years. Some for a long, long time. But who is to say that they were actually happy? You know,
I think that's too.
marriage is more on paper, but what's that relationship like? That's what keeps it going. And so in order for it to keep going, it has to be balanced. You can't just treat me and dime me and everything like that. I gotta be able to treat you too. I gotta be able to, hey, you didn't had a long week. Let me take you out to eat. Let me do this for you. So it has to be a balance. I've been married 15 years now, so it's got to be a balance.
Yeah, I've been married for 15 too. And been with her for 17, going on 18 for 16. So yeah, it's dope.
Same
Don't
here.
give me no
Yep.
eyes up there. Okay, so they corrected me. It is pronounced Shaquina
Shaquina.
Diaz. That's her
Deal.
name. Shaquina Diaz. She said, even in the home, who's keeping track of the bills? Women. Some men, mostly women. The kids in school, women. The appointments, the life insurance. I don't know about no life insurance. I ain't grew up in that area. The women are. She said the women is keeping track of all that. We've been in
Mhm.
mind and in the backbone for a long time. So she basically saying women been running things for a minute now.
Yeah, it's just been behind the scenes. When you think about it, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
So who the head of the household then? Who running things?
the head of the household is the man and the woman. They in their house, but we talking about out in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
women
that's
running
it.
things.
That's it. That's it. And Miss Diaz is absolutely right. Women tend to be a little bit more organized than men are. We multitask. Whereas a man will focus on what needs to be done. Let's go about getting it done, and that they're they got a one track mind, if you will,
Yeah.
and
We got
women
birds in our
multitask.
head.
Yeah, absolutely. And so
Thing.
that is the reason why, relationships work, because women can do a lot of things at one time, and we can do them well, and a man can go out and provide for us, and he can lead his house if he's leading it accordingly. He can do that, and then just, leave everything in her hands, and he knows that she's got it because she takes care of business.
Well, shout out to Jonathan Coleman again. He said, "Can a woman lead a man?" I guess it depends on where you're going. So can a woman lead a man?
Again, we're talking about what the context is. Are we talking about in the household, or are we talking about outside, outside of the household? Because outside of the household, there are many women that lead not just men, but organizations. Women run businesses. Women are teachers. Women are engineers. Women are politicians, as you can see
Nowadays,
what
yeah,
we have right now. Okay, but when you talk
a lot
about
of
in
them.
the household, a man and a woman get together and they make a they have a discussion, and often a husband will say, "Okay, honey, it's whatever you want to do," and then she'll take the lead in that and figure out how things to get done. For example, Terry, if your wife says, "Honey, I want to go to Jamaica," you'd be like, "Okay, but whatever you want to do." Well, now she's going to do it. Okay, she's leading the situation. She's going to get the tickets. She's going to take care of everything. She's going to make sure you turned in your CTO, your PTO at work. She's turned hers in. She's multitasking to have something happen that she's going to take the lead in. That's in the household. But when you talk about being outside of the house, and that has his permission, that has his okay, he's got a stamp of approval on what she's doing.
Oh man, she not.
I'm talking about going off. She was going off. She, she was going off. Um, so she'll be back. She'll be back.
Yeah.
So Jonathan Coleman said all of the serious relationships he had, the women moved in with him. I've never moved in with a woman. I've always been the breadwinner. That's just my thought, but I guess it all comes down to if it makes sense. So if you had a house and you met me, you love me, and we want to get together, and I say, well, I move into your crib, am I now the hold on. Let me see this.
I give
So
up.
I know. No, no, no. Don't give up. We cooking. Keep coming back. But look,
Okay.
I was asking Tiffany, and I wanted to see her response about this. If y'all have a house, and I moved in, do I become the man in the household?
The household.
In my opinion, it depends on what your ethics are. Because if you move into
Yeah,
my house, we better be married.
that too. Yeah.
You cannot
So
move
who?
into my house and then say that you are the head of my household when it depends on what you are doing. Are we moving in as a couple? Are we moving in as a married couple? Are you moving in to say, "Hey, I'm helping with everything plus take care of the kids"? It depends on the situation. So you have to define that situation better for me.
Mm, I
I
think
think
it
sir.
boils
Go ahead.
down to communication. I mean, when it comes
Communication.
down to it, yeah, it boils down to communication. It's the conversation that you would have to have between the two, of what I guess you would say the status of who's the head of household or whatever. But I think that conversations just have to be had, because who's to say that, okay, you're the man of the household? What makes you the man of the household? Is it because you're making more money than me? Is it because you're calling all the shots? Like, what makes you the man of the
Most
household? So what are
most
you
likely.
if you are the man in the house and you not the breadwinner? What is it
Okay.
then?
What I
Yeah, I
think now.
agree. I agree with
Go
that statement because we're grown people. We are grown folk. For me, if a man is going to move into your household, it's got to be with purpose, and what are we doing with this? Because a boy, it's only a boy that's going to move in with you and not do anything. He's going to lay up, allow you to take care of everything, allow you to go to work, allow you to raise the kids, and he doesn't do anything to contribute to the household. He's not the head of anybody's household. He's just a visitor. Okay,
Well,
he's
Mm,
there's a lot of
somebody
that
that's
going.
yeah.
There's a lot going on
he's
with
just there. He's like one of the kids, in my opinion. So when you start talking about making a move like that, where individuals are going to be under one household, if somebody is going to be the head of the household, then those stipulations need to be defined right off the bat, and
Hmm.
how that's going to happen.
Yep.
So let me ask this, right? Well, let me get back to the comments. Alonzo Zobo. Zobo is in the building. Alonzo Zobo. Shout out to you, man. He said these days women want to lead, and most strong men that huh, that lead, protect, and provide refuse to let a woman be the head of the house. These days, women want to lead,
Mhm.
and most strong men that lead refuse to let a woman be the head of the household. How y'all feel about that? But I mean, that's kind of true. That's my point.
Well, I think you know what? You have to really look at where people are coming from and where they are. I see a lot of young women right now who have to lead their household because the men are not doing it. They're not staying around to raise their children. They're not they come with this 50-50 deal to the table. If he's a strong man who wants to support a woman, he could still make that happen, but he'll have to change her mindset, because
Mm-hmm.
I definitely see why women are leading their own households now, because they are the head of the house. There's not men around or that stay around or that even offer the idea of a commitment or marriage at that for that matter. So when you go into a woman's life and she's already established, she's been used time after time, and there's not been a serious commitment there, you're going to have a hard time making a lady like that submit. You have to basically prove yourself. If that's the kind of female
Mhm.
that you're going to deal with, then you're going to have to try and change her mindset to help her understand that you're there to better her, and she should be there to better you. You're there to help take care of her. You're there to help lead her, but you better have some meat behind those words, and
Meat
not be
potatoes.
there. That's right. Yes, that's right. And men make a lot of promises that they don't keep to these young women, and these girls
Mm.
nowadays are not. They're
Oh, you
not
did just
having
say
it.
that. You did just say
They're
that.
not having it. These young girls aren't having it now. You can promise to be around, and as long as I can get in there with you, and I can move in, and we can get the grooving and acting like a couple. Yeah, these girls aren't having that now. If you're going to be what you say you are, then be that and prove that. And if they give you enough time to do it, eventually the mind change will come.
So let me ask both of y'all this, right? Has mom and dad past relationship, like how they live and how they do and how they operate, has that changed the mindset of the way the kids want to live today?
I don't know how to answer that question.
Well, I tell you what my opinion is. I see that more people are trying to get that. They look at their parents and say, wow, how come our parents have been married 60, 50, 70 years and we can't stay married that long? It would be nice to have that. I think we went through an independence stage, and I think that we're rolling back around to a time where people are saying, hey, we still like some of that tradition, where people stayed together and they worked it out, no matter what. So I see that coming back. I look on Facebook and all these other, I'm looking at big weddings now. I'm looking at, vacations. I'm looking at things the way we used to do things. And I think that's
I
rolling
must be in
back
the
around
wrong.
because people.
I must be in the wrong area or something.
You might
I
be
ain't gonna
because
lie.
literally, they actually have stations on and these little these little quick TikTok films that roll through of all these beautiful weddings of young people, black people getting married and proposals and so forth. And so I do believe that there was a stigma at one time that no matter what, you stayed married, whether it was abuse or what have you, and people got away from that, and as well as they should have. But when they look at people who can be happy for 50 years, I think most people want something like that. I think people do want that commitment.
Yeah, at first I said I didn't know how to answer that question. The reason why I said is because my parents they weren't they they divorced when I was like 7 years old, so I didn't have
Actually,
my mom
understandable.
and dad married, majority of my life or anything. But I've had other couples that have been married for a long time. But even with my parents divorcing and things like that, it motivated me to still want to have that long marriage, and still want to uh, have that long marriage. I think I'm doing pretty good right now. We're at 15 years, so but that
Damn good.
it motivated me in a positive way to want what I didn't have growing up. So it
Well, you
felt
actually changed. You actually, I wouldn't say a curse, but you actually changed. You know what I'm saying? The narrative of how because you could have went a different direction, made an excuse. You know what I'm saying? To be a bailout and say, well,
yeah,
my mama did it and my daddy did it, so I'm. You know what I'm saying? It's the reason why I'm the way. So you actually broke it. So congratulations on that. A lot
yeah,
of people, you know what I'm saying? So I got to give you props on that one.
yeah.
I'd
So
like to also make another comment to Miss Diaz. She has a really good comment that she just made about the woman carrying the load of everything, and then she is considered a leader.
y'all can see the
Um,
comments.
yeah, I can
Yeah.
see it. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Okay, good,
Let
good. I ain't got to
yeah,
read it.
I,
Y'all can read
she has a really really good point, and I say a lot of that, and unfortunately it's a societal thing. These young men have not grown up with their fathers, or a leader figure in front of them, and so they don't understand what it is to be a leader.
every time she about to get ready to cook.
Yep,
Every time.
yep. You know it's gonna be something good.
But no, so I like what she said was she said if you're lacking as a leader, obviously she's speaking about the man, you feel what I'm saying? Women is carrying the load as a leader. So that I mean that is true because there's a lot of y'all strong women that's taking stages. You feel what I'm saying? I see y'all got careers, y'all have
Yeah.
attitude in a positive way. Y'all strong minded. Y'all have ambition. Y'all have your own voice. You know what I'm saying? So y'all have a lot of that nowadays. Where back in the day, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say it was stripped. It just wasn't
Yeah.
allowed.
Mhm.
So I can
Yeah,
see a lot of that.
but I also think a lot of that is because the women have to do that. They have to because there are not enough men stepping up
God
to
dog it,
do
don't
to
say that.
no,
Don't
and
say
this is
that.
this, but see, I want to get back to my point of saying that I'm not placing blame anywhere. What I am
Hit the like
saying is
button.
that
Hit the like button. Go ahead.
what I am saying is that the young men have been afforded the opportunity of having their fathers around in the household. They either have, for whatever reason, they've been locked up, or they left the home, or they got divorced, or they just didn't want to commit to being a father, or in the home. Okay. And so, how is a boy supposed to know how to be a man without a man in his life? I mean, we as mothers, we can do the
That's a true
best we
statement.
can to try and raise. We raise sons. We don't raise men. We raise sons.
But some of these women
Only a
tripping.
man can teach.
Some of these
Well,
women is tripping.
listen. It doesn't matter because a boy, a man, a woman cannot make a man. Okay, I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack when I
You
say
right. You
that, but
right.
these boys need to have men figures in their lives, and sometimes the granddads will step up, or the uncles will step up, or what have you. But we as women, we raise our children. We can raise our young women, our young girls to be women, but we are not men. Okay, we can tell them what we think how they should be as a man. Okay, but we
Yeah.
can't teach them to be a man. We can simply raise them. Okay. And so when you talk about headship, well, son, you're supposed to cut the grass, or son, you're supposed to open a door for a woman, or son, carry the groceries in, or son, you have to, but you have to try to appease the woman, to this, that, and the third. That's something that a man teaches a boy to do. That
Mhm.
he helps to raise a
You right.
man to do that, because
And they
most
teach,
women are not in that position. So now, when we
yeah.
say men are not leaders now, or they don't know what to do in the household, that's absolutely right. Some of them do not. They don't know how.
Well, talk your stuff, girl.
I mean, just
Hey
what
man,
you said about
yeah,
I can teach my son. I can tell my son, you're supposed to open the door for such and such. You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to do that. But where it comes in, the man's position is that child needs to see that man doing the same thing, and then
Absolutely.
that's how the child grasps what he's supposed to be doing as a man. They're looking at that man doing that. You know.
so I look at things as like I'm a I'm gonna go hard. You feel what I'm saying for my child. Like there's no
That's right.
way anyone can keep me from my seat. I don't care if you kick me out the house or whatever. I'm gonna go to jail by like 4 or 5 times a day because it's just not you're not gonna just keep me away. My attitude is just like that. I just
That's
can
right.
imagine being stripped from you know what I'm saying from something and to be away from a child for a year. That's
Mm-hmm.
just ain't no way a man should be saying like I haven't seen my kid a year because she didn't allow it. Man, I'm
Right.
at the school, I'm at the park, I'm
That's right.
spying, I'm to my
Yes.
I'm sitting outside of the door when you open, I'm there, I'm talking to
That's
the
right.
courts, I'm talking to this, I'm fighting. So
Yep.
men, stop the excuses. You're basically saying, well, she got the kid, I ain't gonna worry about it right now, and it's called a bailout. That's exactly what we did. There's no
Yep.
reason why a man should go months or years not seeing a kid, knowing where they're at, knowing where
That's
they're at.
right.
It's no excuse, and that just comes from me.
That's
I'm
right.
35 years old. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm speaking like an OG, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm fed up in that area. I be sitting there
Mm-hmm.
looking at this, listening to these people like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know where he
Exactly.
at? Go to your
Mm-hmm.
child and go. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about? You feel what I'm
That's
saying? So
right.
my
That's
bad.
right.
I got a
And
little
and
heated.
I have friend. I back you 110% on that, because no woman has the right to keep a man's children from him. And if
Mm-mm.
you need to go to
No,
court, I don't care how many baby mamas you have. Go to court 5 times if you have
I'm
to,
talking
with
about
five
fight,
different women.
fight.
You make sure you stay in that child's life, whether it's a daughter or a son. You make sure that as a dad, as a father, as a dad, that you are in those kids' lives.
I agree. I agree. I know I just rant, fellas. If y'all feel offended, I'm sorry. Go take care of your kid. You feel what I'm saying? It's only was two ways to get
Yeah,
into the
your
door.
previous your I think it was Alonzo said that when he moved his wife down, and she moved into the house, he said it was their home, not just his. I like that.
Facts, facts. My bad, Alonzo. You did say that. You said it was y'all's house. You feel what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's not traditionally mine. You feel what I'm saying? That's actually a good man right there. This is ours. What
That's
you want,
right.
baby?
Yeah.
That's how
Mm-hmm.
they usually talk. You feel me? What you want, baby? You good, baby? You
Mm.
all right, baby?
And
Yeah.
I'm
So
telling you something, somebody that talks like that, listen, you can have whatever you want. If you talk to me like that, what you would listen, and that's how you get a woman to be submissive. You give her what
Mhm.
she wants, you take care of her financially, emotionally, spiritually, that a woman will want to submit to that. Now, when she steps outside the house and gotta go to the office, that's something different. But a man who says, "What you want, girl? What, baby? What you want? I got that for you." Who are you kidding me? Come
hey,
on
but you'll
now.
be man, you'll be amazed. Most of these females say what they want, and they get it. It's too soft, or it's too sensitive, or the package is not what they thought. It's not hard enough, but they give them everything they need, but except they want to walk over it because he's too nice. And that's a lot. It happens a lot nowadays. I don't
Well,
understand why, but that
it,
they don't appreciate it.
you can't spoil a person. That's like if you give a child everything that they want, you spoil them. You're gonna grow up and have a brat on your hands that nobody wants to deal with ever. You have to like she said, my
But I
my
thought
co
that what we're
partner over
supposed to
here.
be doing.
You
Well,
know
you have to
you
break
have to
that
have
down.
balance. You have to have balance. You got to put balance in a relationship, period. Or otherwise, you're gonna have a spoiled brat, just like you would raise spoiled children. They'll be adults that nobody wants to deal with.
Right.
So okay. So how do a man, and I'm talking to two strong women, Miss Tiffany, Miss Deborah. How do a man spoil his woman? Well, no. How can I say it? Treat his woman right without spoiling her.
Treating right without spoiling.
Well, I would
Oh,
tell
that's
you
a,
how.
I got it. I
No,
got it. I got
I felt like I was really hogging the conversation. I was gonna let Tiffany take him. I'm gonna give her a few minutes to think about hers.
it. She
I'm gonna give her
enjoying
a
it.
few
That's what
minutes.
she doing.
Yeah, because
She
listen, this is
enjoying it.
how I feel. This I'm this kind of woman, okay? I feel that when I'm wined and dined and I'm taken care of, that's fine, okay? But I cannot be spoiled because frankly, if there's something that I feel like I want, I have the financial means to go and get it myself. I don't have to be spoiled by another person. You understand what I'm saying? So husband
Mm.
might say, well, you know what? I think that say for example, what do I want to say? Let's say the woman wants to upgrade on her car. Okay. Let's say she's got a Cadillac, but she want to get a BMW, and the husband may say, "Okay, go ahead and get that. I got you. Let's see what it's going to do to the finances, and if it works out, go ahead and get it." Okay, but let's say that it doesn't. Okay, and she's still determined to get that car. Now he's going to say, "Well, baby, this is the deal. You're going to either wait until I can afford to make that change, or we can make it together, or you can pick up a part-time job and you get it, and I'll pick up the normal monthly note. Anything over that,
Got
you
it.
can go pay for it." See,
I
so
like
that's how
to say that.
that's how you prevent that spoiling situation. She got to put
Hmm.
some sweat into the game too. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if a
Oh,
car
that
note
was
is
red
five
carpet.
hundred, then the husband or the head of the household would say, "I'll pay the 500. If it's anything over $500 or $600, you go ahead and make up the extra couple $100. So she got some sweat equity in the decision as well. So and there's no spoiling there.
That's when
I like
communication, back to communication, because that's the biggest thing in a relationship. Communication. Okay,
communication big.
you might want this right now, and yeah, I might try my hardest to get it for you, but realistically, we can't get this right now. So I'm gonna let you know that it's in the cards. It just ain't right now. So communication is key. I don't know
So
if I
when
can
Yeah.
say that enough. Communication is key.
now you just said it the whole time. I hope they
Yes.
lock in because communication is big.
And you
Communication is
know what?
big.
That's another thing too. You got a lot of these young women who are so hooked and hyped on what they see on social media. We shouldn't place really, really high expectations on a man who really cannot reach those goals for us. We may want Gucci and Louis Vuitton all the time, but if we're married to a man that makes 60, $70,000 and that pays for the house, the car, the kids' tuition to college, don't put that burden on him because then the woman is unfair. She is unfair at that point and she's asking too much. And at that point, that's when a husband is going to become resentful when she forces him into a lifestyle that he cannot give her. So it's
Mhm.
like it's like Tiffany said, you got to have open communication, and if he can't afford that lifestyle, then don't put it on him, and perhaps you need to go pick up a job if that's the kind of stuff that you want for
That
yourself.
part.
You know,
That
it's
part.
not for the
Facts.
household, it's for you. You want the Gucci bag and the Chanel bag. Those are things that you will benefit from him, because he's not carrying a Gucci bag, and he may want you to look like a nice dime piece on the side and can't really afford it. But if that's something that you want, then you need to pick that tab up.
Yep. What
Point
she
taken.
said.
Yeah. Listen up. It's spicy in there. It's spicy. Hey, so Alonzo said he been left the house. You follow? He there to provide and protect, baby. I like that. I like that. Um, hey, I like this, man. I really do. It's very educating, and especially dealing with the men that's coming up now and the women that's coming up. Do you feel like it's less relationship that's happening, or is it more unity when it comes down to relationships? And if it's not, why not?
I feel like it's more situationships going on than relationships. You
I
know,
like we.
we in this together. We stand together, and so they stay together. You know, they might have started off wanting it to be a relationship, but then life be life, and sometimes I might not be able to afford to move out, so we gonna just stay together. It's a lot of situationships going on
That is
versus relationships.
I
that's a
agree. I agree with
fact.
her. United States has the highest divorce rates of all countries, unfortunately. So people don't stay in long term. They don't stay in marriages. That's for sure. You may have some long term relationships, but I agree with Tiffany. It's a lot of situationships going on, and unfortunately, they tend to. They're some of them are short lived and some of them are long lived. But people are scared of commitment now. They're scared to walk down that road of commitment because of what it could cost them. You have individuals who won't get married unless they have a prenuptial agreement, or you have individuals who are
Was that big
afraid.
back in the day though?
No, you know what? I think prenups are more popular now because you have wealth is a little bit easier to come by now. You got people who get rich off the internet now.
Yeah, you right about that.
We have our entire NBA leg is almost all African Americans, NFL. So you have a lot of these young people that come up that have a lot more wealth now, and because they didn't come up in real stable homes, they're afraid to get married unless they have a prenup, because there's a lot of women out here who simply look to relationships, and men too, who look to relationships for the money. And so you have
Mhm.
people who marriage is kind of shaky, without a prenup. And to be quite honest with you, if you have a lot of assets, you should get a prenup anyway, to be honest with you, because you never know how things are going to work out. But I agree with Tiffany. It's a lot of situationships going on right now because people are afraid of commitment.
Mhm.
I truly think that people should study what marriage is before they get involved. I think marriage is more of a study ship. You feel what I'm saying? Because you're actually putting something together, and then you're not realizing what it costs to be separated.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, if you really think about it, marriage is a business. It wasn't really
Absolutely.
based off of love. So
Mm-hmm.
you definitely have to find your partner in true love. You feel what I'm saying? Before you actually say let's get married, because you
Yeah.
don't know what marriage is really about.
Yeah,
So
and that could be also one reason why people did stay married back in the day, because it used to be before you got married, you had to go through counseling in the church.
hmm
You had to go through, you had to sit and you had to actually talk about what marriage was to you. You had to talk about the reality of marriage, and a lot of times you did it either with the counselor or you did it with the head of the church. The elders or the ministers. I don't think they do that too much anymore. But at least you could not say you didn't know what you were getting into by the time you were ready to stand at the altar and get married, because you went through counseling and you went through some sort of tutorship with regard to what marriage was supposed to be. And I don't think they do that
mm,
anymore.
no, I don't think as well.
Mm.
And one of my friends, well, let me get to this right quick. Jonathan said, I have a question for Deborah Sue. What's next for Toledo, to the world, and the rest of the year?
Well, Toledo to the world. I will tell you, I just got picked up by Roku channel. Yeah, thank you. So I'm very very excited about that. I'm in the process of getting the contractual work done right now. So I'm happy about that. I'm actually booked out. When I first started Toledo to the world, I actually booked out months in advance, to be honest with you. And so I'm trying to scale that back just a little bit, because when you book out too far, people tend to, things come up. And so, but I do have this coming week, I have a cook that's going to be on the show in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to try and promote some Detroit people who are actually chefs, as well as Toledo people. And I'm just looking forward to whatever the blessings come with it. Everything. Sometimes everything ain't always you easy. You gotta
Right,
you gotta fall a little bit to chase that blessing a little bit. But it's all good.
right. And he also have a question for Miss Tiffany. He said, "Tell us about your podcast, Tips Tuesdays."
Okay. So Tips Tuesday is an inspirational podcast that I started in 2022. I release episodes every Tuesday where I give a short inspirational message to get you through the week. Right now I'm on sabbatical, but I'll be starting back up in October. But from that has spin off, I think I said that right, spun off a live show of it where I bring in guests to give different perspective on the different topics that I already talk about on the audio podcast.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going strong with that. Going on 3 years now. And with the live show, I'm about to be starting season 6 of that, which I might have to talk to Miss Deborah about being on season 6 or something, because I'm liking her feedback. But
Be happy too.
hint,
Be happy.
hint.
I think I
But yeah, it's
stumbled
an
on your
inspirational podcast that is meant to motivate, encourage, and inspire other people around the world, just to let you know that life might be lifing, but hey, it's okay. You can make it. Keep going. Keep your head up. Just inspiration all around. With the live show, we kind of hit topics um, that are some of them are controversial, but it's more inspirational topics that we hit, and you might have a different perspective on a certain subject that I've already talked about, and it's always interesting the way that I uh, bring up the topics, and then that person's like, well, no, I see it from this way. And it's like, oh man, I didn't see it like that. Like him with the
uh,
whole proposal thing. Like I didn't see it like that. So that's
Yeah.
what we do on Tips Tuesdays and
stuff.
Tips Tuesdays live rehash. So yeah, that's what my
Well,
Congratulations, man. It's
I'm gonna have
a
to
lot
have
of success
somebody
going
get.
on.
I'm gonna have to have somebody give me a tip on these new iPhone 15s on how to block people when you want them, because I've turned that focus thing on and my calls are still coming through. I don't get that. So
They
used
might
to
they
be
might
on
have
the
changed the
old
last
cell
digit.
on the old cell phones. All you did was do not disturb, and now they got
right
all this. This is killing me. I have no
call
idea what
still
to do
coming
with
through.
that.
Well, I gotta step my game up. I'm still on the 14 right now.
Hey,
I'm over here being
I got an
I'm over here
Android,
being cheap.
so
I'm over here being cheap. They saying I can get one right now, but I'm like, man, listen, man, I'm
Leave it
done. I'm actually
alone.
done with an iPhone.
Right.
I mean iPhones. I don't want no more iPhones. I
Lord.
might go back to Androids.
There
But
you
hey,
go. There you
shout out to
go.
King Jacob, man. King Jacob was in the building. He said, been raised in two-parent household hits different, especially when the parents are spiritually yoked. This hits different when your upbringing has a level of family values and constant communication in the household, and a father and a mother are real parents, understand what parenting is and what parenting means.
Yep.
Um,
Amen.
I don't think a lot of new parents nowadays knows the true meaning of parenting. Um,
Right.
they I just don't feel that way. It's a lot of people friends with their kids. kicking
Mm-hmm.
it with their kids, smoking and drinking with their kids. You know what I'm saying? Like they're allowing them to cuss and think that that's good at the age of 16 years old, not realizing that you couldn't do that when you was born or when you was 2 or when you was 3. But since you done hit an age, oh, we cool now. You grown. No, you not. You
No.
still the mama. You
Yeah.
still the daddy, and you
Yeah.
still the son or the daughter.
Yeah.
Nothing changed.
But
Just
but
age.
but I also agree with him when he says when you have a two-parent household that's evenly yoked, meaning they have a spiritual threefold, three-chord in their marriage, and they know how to parent together. I think that when you have children or offspring that come from that marriage, they do know how to raise their kids because they had their parents who set that example. So Jacob may be a young man who has a wife and he's not partying with his kids, and he's not. I had a girl on my show. She's 29 and she has rules for her daughter. She has stipulations for her daughter. Why? Because her parents set those rules and stipulations for her. She came from a two-parent household. She came from a household where they went to church or they went to Bible study. So I think it's when you have parents that set that example, when you grow up, you don't forget that. You know what it is to to abide by the rules in the household, and chances are you're going to require the same thing from your own kids.
Mm, that hits. That that hits.
Hmm.
Now let's back it up a little bit. He said if you can't afford the lifestyle, no, he said if he can't afford lifestyle, but most women can't afford a lifestyle either. I was trying to read that, my guy. I think that he's saying you can't afford lifestyle. I don't know. I guess he's
If you
saying
can't
both can't
afford
afford
I think
lifestyle.
I think
lifestyle,
he I think
then
I think he's circling back around to what I said.
Yeah, yeah,
If
yeah,
you
yeah.
if you're in a relationship and the man provides at a certain level and he's taking care of the business of the household, that's one thing. And if a woman wants something up and beyond that, it might not be within her realm either. Well, then she shouldn't reach out for that lifestyle. But unfortunately, yeah, a lot of young girls are, and so if it becomes that gets to that point, then she's gonna have to get up and go help afford it if that's what she wants.
Facts. Hey, King Jacob, you sounding like me. The way you type is the way I sound when I'm speaking, baby. Hey,
just trying
I
to
had
get
to
it
get
out
on
there.
myself too, though. Okay, so he said a lot are in relationships, and well, this actually touched bases what you said, Miss Tiffany. He said a lot are in relationships, and neither one of the individuals know God or know who they are mentally, spiritually, or emotionally with. And that is actually true. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So they don't really know, or they don't have a connection. Oh, I
Mm-hmm.
know him. We've been dating for 3 months. Yeah, 3 months. That's like 3 days.
You ain't learn nothing.
Nothing. You need 2 years at least.
You ain't learn
At
nothing.
least
Nothing. I think you
minimum.
have 2 years. I think you need 2 years.
Yep,
That's what I think. 2 years
I
at
agree.
minimum. That's just my
Hmm.
take. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but listen, I really appreciate y'all. But I got one more question to ask. It's controversial, but I got one more question. How do y'all feel about traditional relationships versus open relationships? Or polygamy relationships, or I just found out what an FLR is, which is female-led relationships. Yeah, Google it. I didn't know what I just found out what an FLR was. It's a female-led relationship. You feel what I'm saying? Google it when y'all have time. But how do y'all feel about these type of relationships? You feel what I'm saying when it come down to like having less stress or less depression or less arguments or strong commitment, communication, loyalty, open communication. Like, how do y'all feel about that?
That was a whole lot that you asked, and you need a whole nother hour to even answer most of what you just
Well, let's do
said.
it. You ain't got to answer then. Let's do a part two.
But you
You
know
know what I'm
what?
saying? We
Listen,
can leave it.
I do believe that the law of the land says you're entitled to one wife and one husband, okay? But that's here in the United States. In other places, the laws are different. You can have three, four, five wives and in certain places. So depends on where you are and how you accept that. But in the beginning, as we all say, God made Adam and Eve. He didn't make Adam, Eve, Bethany, Susan and Carol and You know, he
Hmm.
made one man for one wife. And so, you know, polygamy and open
And he did make
relationships.
concubines in the Old Testament. They did have
Well,
a
see,
wife
and
and
that,
concubines.
but we're gonna talk about the Old Testament. We're gonna
I
need to
got
know
you.
another
Right.
show because you
We're
got to
gonna go there.
remember, you know,
I'm gonna give it.
the land had to be populated and fairly quickly, and so that's why that was allowed back then. But when you know when that law was done away with, then the law was one man for one woman. You know,
Yeah.
so when we start getting, because I studied theology
We
too, so
not
when we started
we
talking
not living
about
under the Old Testament.
I
I
got
mean,
you.
if that was the case, it'd be a lot
Well,
of
let's
stuff going on. That
well let's close on that, and we're gonna open it whenever y'all available. We're gonna pick that back. We're gonna pick that back up. 'Cause I do feel like that could be a whole nother hour. But
absolutely,
again, but
yeah.
before we close though, King Jacob said if she wants an open relationship, she be open without King Jacob. That's a deal breaker for me.
Yep. There you
He
go.
up
I
out of there.
like him. You should have brought
He
him
up
on the
out of
show because
there.
I like him.
Nah, that's King Jacob, baby. But no man, I'm still talking. Did you tell what I said? No man. Hold on. So that's Mom Dukes in the background, everybody.
Hey, my dudes.
Hey, baby. So look, I appreciate y'all for actually showing up. You know what I'm saying? Showing out. It's very educational, and I thank y'all for blessing my channel. Like I couldn't do this without y'all. And Miss Deborah, this your second time. Hopefully, I get Tiffany back on. It's just been a pleasure. I love it every time.
Absolutely. Happy
I
to
love
be
it
here.
every time.
Happy to Tiffany. It's very nice to meet you. And I'm more than certain that we're gonna link up again pretty soon
Oh
here.
yeah. Oh
And
yeah. I'm hitting you up after the show.
and it's
I'm gonna
always
watch
good to
that show.
be. Yeah,
I gotta
listen,
watch
it's
that
always
show.
good to be on the show. I'm gonna figure out how to do this, how to stop these interruptions, guys, because I don't know how to do it yet. So, but I'm gonna figure it out.
But hey, every time you clicked off, you was cooking. You was about to get ready to cook
Yeah.
every time. So we knew something was coming good. But go ahead and give
Mm-hmm.
y'all shout outs
Right.
before we close, though. Go ahead and give y'all shout outs before we close.
Okay. Go ahead,
Oh,
Tiff.
you gonna go first? You said we're going to shout outs.
The shout outs and your closing.
Oh, okay, okay. Shout out to everybody that is on tonight. If you are on, go and follow me on all social media at Tiffany Music. Because as I've mentioned, I am a singer, songwriter, and musician. Go and follow me at Tiffany TIPHANI Music MUSIC. Also go and check out the podcast Tips Tuesdays on anything that you stream podcasts on, and follow me on all social media with the podcast also. So but shout out to everybody. I've had an awesome time tonight.
Got you.
All right. I'm going to give a shout out, of course, to you, my friend. Thank you, Terry, for having us on. And also going to shout out to Jonathan. Thank you, Jonathan, for all that you do. I'd like to encourage everyone to also follow me, Deborah Sue of Glass City Talent 419, and follow my artist, Mac Nova. He can be found in Mac Nova Universe on all platforms, and I can be found at Deborah Sue on both Facebook and Instagram and Glass City Talent. I am a manager and I have been in the music industry as well, Miss Tiffany, for about 2 decades now. So yeah, I'm also a publisher too. So if you guys think about putting any books together, holler at me. I can help you with that. Thank you for everyone following. And if you are following all of us, guys, please do remember to like, share, and whatever you do, please do subscribe because we need your support to keep shows like this going.
Let's get it. And it's your boy, Lil Terry. I am the owner and founder of In the Crib, You're in the Crib Foundation. Make sure y'all stay tuned for what's coming up next. I really appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for everybody that subscribed. I got 2 subscribers. It's $2 subscribe. I got 2 so far. And I'm not ashamed to say I got 2. And I appreciate those 2. But we can get more. That'll be a blessing. And I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a blessing. This is my pops. You know what I'm saying? He just had hip surgery. Y'all put him in his prayer. His name is Kenny. You know what I'm saying? So y'all put him in his prayer. But I'm out, y'all. Y'all salute.
Take care.
Yes,
Bye-bye.
ma'am. All right.